Australia's elite troops
unlawfully killed 39
unarmed civilians and prisoners in Afghanistan.
After a 4-year inquiry, an official report on Australian soldiers' misconduct in Afghanistan, the Brereton Report, has shocked the world. The redacted report uncovered 39 Afghans were allegedly murdered by Australian soldiers in 23 incidents from 2005 to 2016, with details of the incidents concealed from the public. The report confirms that none of these alleged killings took place in the heat of the battle. None of the alleged Afghan victims were combatants. Some of them were unarmed, some were wounded, some had already surrendered. They were all not threatening or under Australian soldiers' control. The report stresses this kind of killings isn't just about the pumping adrenaline on some occasions. They are in the everyday culture of the Australian Army. Afghan prisoners were even allegedly killed in Australian junior soldiers' practices when their patrol commanders required them to achieve the first kill. This practice was known as blooding. Australian soldiers would also purposely place weapons and grenades next to the dead bodies to portray Afghan victims as legitimate targets. They all knew these killings breached laws, but still, a total of 25 current or former Australian Defence Force personnel became perpetrators, either as principals or accessories, some of them on a single occasion and a few on multiple occasions. Beyond what the Brereton Report confirms, more allegations were surfaced. A military sociologist reported Australian soldiers killed 2 14-year-old boys by slitting their throats, then bagged the bodies and threw them into a nearby river. And there's an image showing senior Australian soldiers drink beer out of a dead enemy's prosthetic leg. Another appears to show 2 soldiers were posing with it as their war trophy. The report's staggering revelations have shocked Australia and the world, but the matter of accountability has bogged down by wrangling among different parties. 19 perpetrators were referred to for further investigation, but the debate on collective accountability is disputed. Experts and politicians believed people involved in illegitimate killings are well beyond the 19 alleged war criminals in a systematic warrior culture. Australia's Defence Force Chief Angus Campbell once claimed that the honours awarded to Australian soldiers for service in Afghanistan should be revoked.
To the people of Afghanistan, on behalf of the Australian Defence Force, I sincerely and unreservedly apologise for any wrongdoing by Australian soldiers. The unlawful killing of civilians and prisoners is never acceptable.
But soon, the pressure from the veterans and politicians make him step back from the move and say no decision has yet been made. The Brereton Report says it was at the patrol commander level that responsibility resides, and the accountability does not extend to the higher headquarters. But veterans are incensed at the report clearing commanders of blame. They claimed some of the Army's senior commanders knew Afghan locals were being killed, so that the responsibility should go right up to the top, with the following procedures awaiting in the face of the wrangling. The Brereton Report will reverberate for a long time. The suffering of Afghans, at the same time, is growing with each passing day. Australia has pledged to make compensation payments, but how can money compensate the Afghan people for the loss of parents, children, and friends? The Brereton Report has reawakened the long-standing traumas for Afghan people, and some Australians, by no doubt, should pay their debt.